Who would win in a fight between Wonder Woman and Thor? This is a tough fight, as each warrior is the strongest and most skilled in their respective multiverses. Thor has the advantage of strength, durability, and his iconic hammer, Mjolnir, which can control the weather, summon lightning, and project destructive energy. However, Wonder Woman is a bit faster and has refined fighting skills, honed over thousands of years under the guidance of the Greek gods. That makes their battle one of the most evenly matched and fierce confrontations. When Thor brings down his hammer, each blow creates a shockwave that can crush mountains. But Diana still dodges flexibly, the golden lasso glowing in her hand like a living line of light, ready to bind anyone who lies or lets down their guard. She fights not only with strength, but also with wisdom and courage, qualities that make her the pride of the Amazons. Thor gradually realizes that his opponent is not just a mortal warrior, but a symbol of justice and divine will. Wonder Woman's greatest feat of strength is pushing the Earth with the help of Martian Manhunter and Superman, so we can assume she can push objects with a mass equivalent to about a third of the Earth. It is an incredible feat, demonstrating the divine strength of Princess Diana, who carries the warrior blood of Zeus. However, when compared to Thor's greatest feats, it is still a step below. Thor once performed an act that was almost beyond the limits of every being in the multiverse. He moved the world machine, a colossal structure that not only connected but also supported all 10 realms of Norse mythology. What is remarkable is that each of these realms is not just a small landmass, but actually independent planets with gravity, atmospheres, and enormous size. Midgard is Earth, Jotunheim is the world of the frost giants, while Alfheim and Svartalfheim are the home of 2 races of elves. The fact that Thor is supporting this entire structure means that he is moving the weight of 8 planets and 2 giant continents. This is not only a testament to his physical strength, but also a manifestation of the divine power that Odin has bestowed upon him. In relative terms, Thor's pure strength can surpass Wonder Woman's by 20 to 25 times, making him one of the most physically powerful beings alive. Thor and Wonder Woman are almost equal in combat skills, which is amazing considering their different origins and backgrounds. Thor, the heir to the throne of Asgard, has spent millennia fighting against beasts, gods, demons, and conquerors from other universes. He was trained in a harsh environment where war is the nature of existence and glory belongs only to the strong. Although many people often think that Thor only relies on physical strength and Mjolnir, in fact, he has proven to be an amazing hand-to-hand combatant, especially when he escaped from Hell, the land of the dead, with only close combat skills and pure will, without the need for divine energy. However, Thor's weakness lies in the fact that he rarely utilizes subtle fighting skills, but often relies on overwhelming strength to crush his opponents. Meanwhile, Wonder Woman is the embodiment of skill and tactics. Trained by the gods, Diana is proficient in all forms of classical and modern combat, from sword fighting, boxing, to military tactics. She not only reacts quickly but also knows how to exploit the weaknesses of her opponents. If Thor isn't careful and continues to rely on pure strength, Diana could very well turn her versatility and skill into a decisive advantage, paving the way to victory. Thor is more durable after being able to converse normally under the intense heat of the sun and withstand blows so powerful that the shockwaves from them shattered the surface of the moon. He has been thrown across multiple galaxies and still managed to get back up and continue fighting as if nothing had happened. This is a testament to the God of Thunder's near-limitless endurance. Thor's body is not only Asgardian in nature, but is also enhanced by the Odin Force, which grants him near-instant healing. Meanwhile, Wonder Woman has also proven herself to be an extraordinary warrior in terms of durability. She was able to withstand attacks from Darkseid and Superman, entities with enough power to tear apart planets. The impact sent her flying through several planets, but Diana was still able to return to fight without being weakened. This shows that in terms of endurance, she is not inferior to any god. However, in terms of pure durability, Thor is still a step above. In terms of speed, Thor can move faster thanks to his ability to fly with Mjolnir, once keeping up with the Silver Surfer, a creature with the same speed as Flash. However, in combat speed, Wonder Woman shines. She reacts faster, moves more flexibly in close range, and once defeated Superman with just a shock of electricity combined with superhuman reflexes. In the fight with Thor, this advantage helps Diana dodge devastating blows and counterattack accurately, making the battle more balanced than ever. Wonder Woman possesses the golden rope of Yoruth, a symbol of truth, and a pair of indestructible bracelets forged by the gods themselves. These 2 weapons are not only defensive tools, but also symbolize the will and pride of the Amazon warrior. Her rope can bind even divine beings and force them to tell the truth. while the bracelets can block bullets, divine energy, and even Zeus's lightning. However, when facing Thor, things get much more complicated. Thor wields Stormbreaker, a divine war axe that can cut through almost anything, including dimensions. However, when it touches divinely blessed weapons like Wonder Woman's bracelets or rope, it will probably only cause a slight dent, but it will hardly destroy her completely. But the real threat to Diana comes from Mjolnir, Thor's legendary Uru hammer. Mjolnir has been recorded to be able to crush entire planets into small rocks and is certainly strong enough to destroy the moon if Thor unleashes all his power. Furthermore, Thor's lightning is not only pure energy, but also contains the divine will of Odin, enough to make the nearly immortal Sentry scream in pain. Meanwhile, Wonder Woman's God-Killer sword, although called the God-Killing Sword, is still no match for Thor's mighty power in terms of penetration and destruction. The prophet on Themyscira told Wonder Woman that the knowledge she seeks for an ancient secret that can change the balance between the gods is hidden deep in the library of Asgard, which belongs to another universe. The prophet on Themyscira told Wonder Woman that the knowledge she seeks for an ancient secret that can change the balance between the gods is hidden deep in the library of Asgard, which belongs to another universe. Just over an hour later, Princess Diana of Themyscira arrived in Asgard. Before her eyes was a majestic scene, the light of Bifrost reflected in the golden sky, and the air was heavy with the smell of ancient power. As she approached the library, a giant man with golden hair and a thunder hammer in his hand blocked her way. His voice thundered, "For what purpose have you come to Asgard?" Diana replied with a determined look, "My work has nothing to do with you. I just need some time in the library." Thor sighed, his voice deep and majestic. "As the Prince of Asgard, I, Thor Odinson, cannot let anyone access the forbidden knowledge within these walls." Hearing this, Diana frowned slightly, half surprised and half defiant. "You are not the Thor I have heard of. The real Thor has red hair and has no interest in knowledge, but I, Princess Diana of Themyscira, have a mission to complete." Without wasting a second, she charged forward, her sword drawn, flashing like lightning. Thor roared, Mjolnir in his hand, and thunder rumbled across the sky. And so, the two gods entered a fateful battle, where justice met thunder, and divine will decided who was more worthy. Knocked away by the violent collision, Wonder Woman slid across the ground glowing with divine energy. She shook her head violently, gripping her sword tightly in her hand, and charged straight at Thor. In a death feint, she feigned a knee, catching Thor off guard for a moment. Diana immediately spun around and delivered a precise blow, landing hard on the thunder god's lower abdomen. Thor let out a low growl, his eyes flashing with pain, but at the same time a smile of respect appeared on his face at his opponent's boldness. "You fought well, Lady of Themyscira," Thor spoke, his voice deep as thunder as he swung his magical sword at her. Wonder Woman backed away, dodging the attack by a split second, then counterattacked with a straight stab that pierced Thor's chest armor. The metallic clang rang out, and the thunder god collapsed, breathing heavily. Diana drew her sword, looking at him sympathetically. "You fought well." She turned away, walking slowly toward the ancient library door. But as she was about to step over the threshold, a hoarse laugh rang out behind her. Thor, though dying, still smiled proudly. "You have never faced the god of thunder, have you?" Then he shouted loudly, "Save you, Dalcop!" Immediately, the sky exploded. A huge bolt of lightning struck Wonder Woman. The shock was so strong that it shook the space, and Diana fell to her knees, feeling the power of the lightning tear her soul apart. Thor stood up, pulled the god killer from his chest, threw it aside, and pulled the Stormbreaker axe from his back. Diana raised her hand to block, but the sound of metal shattering echoed as her divine bracelet was destroyed. She backed away, her eyes flashing with caution and anger. "Oh, you don't really want to do that, do you?" The words rang out through the storm, the beginning of a divine vengeance where neither god held back anymore. She laughed as she charged. Thor grumbled, slightly confused as to why someone would deliberately hold back. However, his question never came because at that moment Wonder Woman attacked. She was a blur, constantly swinging left and right. Thor began to rely on his skills to survive. He landed a few good strikes, but he was losing. He managed to land a blow strong enough to knock her down before commenting on how annoying women could be. Then he unleashed a god blast. Snarling in shock, Wonder Woman clenched her fists, her eyes alight with unyielding pride. Her breath came in gasps, smoke and dust rising from the spot where the lightning had struck. Her voice was hoarse but powerful, the power unimaginable. Thor smiled smugly, the light of the lightning reflecting in his icy blue eyes. He walked slowly forward, his armored boots pounding on the ground like a death drum. Each step he took made the air vibrate, divine energy swirling around his body. "You are a mighty warrior, Diana of Themyscira," Thor said, his deep voice resonating with both respect and indomitable pride. "But I am the god of thunder, and few immortals can defeat me, yet now I must monologue on this battlefield." As Wonder Woman struggled to stand, her hair disheveled and her eyes still shining with fighting spirit, Thor shook his head slightly. He raised Mjolnir, the power of lightning converging around the hammerhead, creating a dazzling light that covered the entire battlefield. In just a blink of an eye, he swung it hard. The blow came down like the wrath of the universe, thunder exploded, white light spread throughout the space. Diana did not have time to react. Her whole body was thrown away, collapsing in the hazy smoke. Thor stood there, his posture majestic, his breathing even, his eyes silently watching his steadfast opponent who had just fallen. A final thunderclap echoed through the Asgard sky, like the declaration of the gods. Thor wins. So guys, that's it for now. Let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later. Love you.